All right, I'm sure you've heard it by now. The data is out there. There is a ton of it, and I'm confident there's some of it that you'd like to look at, like to play with. Now, to do that, you're going to need to equip yourself with skill and with software, and the only software really worth talking about in this environment is R. It is free, it is quick, it is incredibly powerful, and for some folks, it's also a little bit intimidating, especially if you don't have a huge amount of programming background. I'm here to tell you it's not all that tough, and give me some time, watch these videos, we'll put you in a place where you have exceptional comfort within those environments. And this set of videos is going to be about doing R quick and doing R dirty. It's not the most refined approach to learning to program. If you're looking for solid fundamentals and good habits, I'd suggest you look elsewhere. But if you're ready to learn how to do, stick around. Are you ready? Let's get filthy. Alright, just so you know off the bat, I'm using Notepad++, and I'm using the default Windows R GUI program. You're more than welcome to use something else. These videos are going to be interface agnostic, so pick what suits you. I'm not going to do anything unique to this setup. Alright, first thing we're going to learn about is getting data into R. It's the most important, vital step to get started on doing some analysis. So I've got some data from the CDC about chlamydia rates in various states, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to instantiate a variable called chlamydia. I'm going to use R's bizarre two-character assignment operator. That'd be the less than sign there and a dash, and the function read.csv. And then I'm going to pass that function a file path. That file path leads to chlamydia 2011.csv on my hard drive here. It's the data we need. So that's how you get things in. It's as simple as that. There's a variety of ways to read things in. CSVs are easy and common, fixed with files, tab limited things, even Excel sheets with a little bit of extension are utterly accessible for R. Even, I mean, if you want to talk about it, SPSS and SAS files, so that big copyrighted stuff you have to buy a license for, you can get into them with R. Now, let's take a look. Run this line of code. Doesn't return anything. That's fine. We've got the data in here. Now, once you get it in, whatever you have that you're looking at, whatever kind of data you want to play with, it's a good idea to scope it out a little bit at the start. So I'm going to show you 3 functions that you can use to scope out your data, get a notion of what you got. The first and one you're going to see an awful lot is head. Head is going to show you the first 6 rows of a data frame, which is what your data becomes when you read it into R by default. If we take a look, you'll see we got the state's rank, the state's number of cases reported, and a rate per 100,000 population. So that's the first 6 rows of our data frame. I can also pass head additional arguments. So instead of just the data itself, I can pass it the number 10, and when I do that, what happens is you get 10 full rows of the data frame, a little bit more information. So this is pretty familiar format. Obviously, this is a table with information, and it looks like Alaska's got the highest rate of chlamydia among the folks out there. So I guess you can say you learned something at least, even if you're not learning much about R. That's one way to look at a set of data you got in there. Another very good one to know about is string. Now this is a goofy use of this function. String is used to coerce things into character formats, like words and stuff. But in this case, you can coerce data frame into string, or call the string function on your data frame chlamydia. Let's take a look at what you get. What you get is a list of the contents of that data frame. So you'll see each column is listed in order, and it gives you the class of the column. So we have integers in our first column. We have what's called a factor variable in our second column. More on that later. More integers in our third column, then numerical values, which maybe are like floats in other languages in certain ways in that last column. It gives you the name of the columns. Real good way to just get a peek at what's in your data frame. Lastly, one thing you can do is call summary. And summary you can use on any sort of object, but data frames are susceptible to it as well. And what that's going to give you is some summary statistics on what you have there. So for all the things that are numerical, the integers and that numeric variable from the last column, you're going to see quartiles, median and mean, maxes and mins, all that good stuff. So that's a crash course in how to load data into R. We'll show you some of the more sophisticated ways to do that, or some of the ways to do that in special cases later. And those are some important things to know about how to examine that data once you have it loaded. In general, anytime you pop something in, you're going to want to do that just to make sure it looks right. So I'm Ed, this is mybringback.com, and you are learning R quick and dirty. Stick around, come back, there's a lot more where that came from.